Charlotte, what's up, man? Where are you?
Where does it look like I am? I mean, I was left behind in Vegas.
You're not in Vegas, dude. Those aren't real sunglasses. That's not really the Thomas and Mack behind you. Where are
You
you?
can't prove it. How can you prove it?
First of all, the way you move in the sunglasses struggle to keep up with you. Also, above your left shoulder, there's two people who have just frozen in time, decided to stop walking like they froze all motor functions in Westworld.
Yeah, I say they're doing a bit. They're helping me out. I mean, come on. I'm hungover in Vegas. What does it look like? Where are
Also,
you?
also, if you were in Vegas, you'd be by the Sphere. I'm in Miami. You're supposed to be in studio here. We're supposed to be. This is our first week doing the show in studio, and I don't even know why I'm sitting down. I'm in studio. I don't need a chair. I got all this. Look at me now. Look at me, world. It's
Wow, wow, wow.
Oddball. This is the inaugural in-studio edition right here in Miami. Look at all of the budget we spent on beautiful woodwork behind me. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to have this show right here with the one and only Charlotte Wilder. Charlotte, you are in Vegas, allegedly. The multiverse has not let you go yet.
I mean, I'm on Zoom. And I just figured out, I
Right.
think that I'm the only person in 2023 who only just figured out that Zoom has these fun glasses. Look, I can see you in 3D if I
Yeah.
want. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the world, I can rob the Bellagio. The world is my oyster.
The pandemic happened 3 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great show for you today. Charlotte and we had a conversation with Tracy McGrady when we were out in Vegas. That conversation will be played for you in its entirety right here. Also, we play a completely ridiculous game that I don't like nor understand. It's called Bold or Spicy. Charlotte, do you want to explain what that game is?
I
Nah, we'll
mean,
get to it later. Don't
yeah,
worry
okay.
about it. Let's talk about a couple of things that happened in the last, I don't know, 48 hours or however long it's been since you and I last talked. For one, Joel Embiid dropping hints all over the internets. Charlotte, what you got for us?
All right. So Joel Embiid said, I think 2 days, well, the time doesn't matter.
Oh,
Recently,
yes, there you
he
go.
said, I just want to win a championship, whatever it takes. He said this with, on Thursday at the Uninterrupted Sports Film Festival with Maverick Carter. He said, I don't know where that's going to be, whether it's in Philly or anywhere else. I just want to have a chance to accomplish that. I want to see what it feels like to win the first one. And then you can think about the next one. It's not easy, but it takes more than one or two, three guys. You got to have good people around you.
You know, it's funny. I got an email yesterday from one of the sports books that shall remain nameless because this is a DraftKings property. And on the email, I got the odds of Joel Embiid ending up anywhere other than Philadelphia. And currently, I believe the Knicks are leading with 2-1 odds. And I remember being so confused. I said, wait a second, did something happen with Joel Embiid? Why are we doing Joel Embiid ending up on different teams talk right now out of the blue? I thought it was James Harden trade talk season. But alack and alas, I guess we are in the Embiid trade zone as well. Charlotte, did Daryl Morey have anything to say?
Morey said that it's clear that James Harden prefers to, quote, be somewhere else. And then he said, if we don't get either a very good player or something we can turn into a very good player, then we're just not going to do it. If James were to turn his mind around, we would all be thrilled. You've heard Embiid's comments about this, but at this moment, he prefers to be traded, and we are attempting to honor that. I'm also like, I don't know. Harden didn't seem to help you guys too much when you actually had him. So maybe just try something else, guys. What I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that whole thing?
I'm real interested to see how this stalemate ends up. We know James Harden is a guy who's not afraid to mess everything up in order to get what he wants, which is a departure from where he's at. We saw what he did in Houston. We saw what he did in Brooklyn. I have no doubt that he'll do the same thing in Philadelphia. And, that's, by the way, that was all kind of part and parcel of the plan. When he signed for below market value last summer with an opt-out after one, he did that with the purpose of kind of giving the team more flexibility, yes, in order to sign a P.J. Tucker, sign a Daniel House, DeAnthony Melton, et cetera, but also as part of an escape plan. And here he is, given it didn't work, and I guess he's not comfortable playing the way he played in Philadelphia last year. He's trying to execute that escape plan. He's trying to get to the Clippers. The funny thing is, nobody's talking about this story because everybody, and I mean everybody, is talking about Damian Lillard. And so we're all kind of waiting for Daryl and James Harden to figure out what they're going to do. But meanwhile, elsewhere, Bruce Bowen of the Denver Nuggets talking about trying to go shot for shot with one Nikola Jokic. Take a listen right here.
He had me drinking some Serbian whiskey. We was taking shots. So my goal all night was to get him drunk.
Yeah.
Right? And he just flipped the script.
How long could you last, or what would you last longer at? Shots with Nikola Jokic or shots with Nikola Jokic?
Eastern Europeans are built different. I took Russian history, not to get too esoteric on you guys. I took Russian history in college, and our professor, who wasn't even Russian, invited us all over to his house to do shots and eat pickles. And I think that might have been the drunkest I ever was in college. So, like, I'm not trying to do that. I mean, maybe you could go toe to toe with him, Amin, but he is a big dude.
Yeah, I don't think I'd last that much longer on the court, but in a bar situation, I like my odds. Charlotte just gave us a little exposition on her background. Nobody cares, Charlotte. But Tracy McGrady will give us some exposition on his background and what he's up to nowadays, right here on Oddball when we come back.
It's another game that I don't understand, but I'm forced to play. It's called bold or spicy, and I guess some of these takes are bold and some of them are...
No. We're doing it differently. This is I forget. I don't even remember how we were doing it before. So this is how we're going to do it for this one. We're going to rank these bold. The red is allegedly spicy, the blue is bold, and we're going to rank them on a scale from 1 to 10 in terms of how hot they are, like how spicy, like how much is this going to burn your mouth?
Like a Scoville meter,
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Chill out. Big words.
Okay. That's a good point.
We're going to do what you choose.
The one that's in front of me.
Okay.
That's spicy? All right. Dylan Brooks is worth the new contract. If you didn't see, Dylan Brooks' 4-year deal, $80+ million. I believe it's $83 million. There's incentives. There's all sorts of stuff in there. Is he worth the new contract? How
spicy is that take?
How spicy is that take?
From 1 to 10.
I give it a 3.
Okay.
I don't think it's that spicy, and here's why. Because he's making, in essence, around maybe $17 million a year. Right now, that sounds like a lot, but the mid-level exception is $12 million right now. In a couple of years, we're going to get a new TV deal. It's going to have a lot more money coming in. We already have the NBA Cup that's coming next year. They're going to sell TV rights for that. So the cap is going to keep going up significantly. His contract will be, look more and more in line with an average or slightly above average contract. I think not that spicy.
That was a great answer. It's adjusted for inflation is what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing when we actually have basketball conversations on the show.
I know. I just felt it was like a rush.
Shenanigans of all time.
I'm going to take a bold. Vegas will have an NBA team in less than 5 years. That's like a 1.
Is it? This is.
Or do you think it'll take longer than 5 years?
This is. You know what this?
What is this?
As a spiciness,
Yeah.
You know what this is?
What?
This is like when some people you put salt on it. Wow, how exotic! Table salt on this. Yeah, I think expansion is inevitable, and I think Vegas, Seattle, and Mexico City are your front runners for expansion.
I sort of feel like it's only Vegas. I feel like there's no way. There's so much money here, and like with the NFL coming and the WNBA, the Aces being so good.
NFL's here. What are you talking about? What year
I just
are
went
you from?
back to 2018.
The multiverse.
I legitimately just went to 2018 in my head, talking about sports. Wow. Okay, so the NFL is here. I feel like there's too much money in Vegas for it to go anywhere else, even though I think Seattle should get it first.
There's a lot of money in Seattle. I don't know if you've heard of companies like Boeing, Google, Microsoft.
Google's not in Seattle.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. They do in Seattle.
Google's not in Seattle.
They do
yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so this isn't spicy. Let's do another one.
Players, coaches, and fans are too harsh on NBA refs. This is paprika.
Yeah.
This is not spicy. This is paprika. Yeah, I'm sure.
It's
whatever.
like water.
Yes, people complain. Yeah, this just in. People complain a lot. Yes.
What do you think about NBA refs?
I like NBA refs. I think most of them are doing the best job possible. Jokic is going to be fouled harder than ever. See, these are all mixed up, man.
What do you think that?
This is light. This isn't spicy.
I think so too.
He's a great player. He's unstoppable around the rim. Eventually, guys try to stop him by fouling him hard. I mean, he's a great free throw shooter too, so it's not that great of a strategy. But if you're going to foul him, you can't.
You got to do it hard.
Because obviously, with the worst play possible is always. It's not when you let a guy, you just let him lay it up. Like, I'd rather you just let him lay it up than you come in with a terrible foul, and now he laid it up and hits a free throw along with it. So this is, what's less spicy than water?
Milk.
Milk. There you go. This is milk.
It's milk.
All
right, one more.
One.
After 20 games this season, there will be 2 teams with fewer than 3 losses in the NBA. I think this might be the most middle of the road.
You know what I was thinking about?
What?
It'll be nice when we do this bit like 2 months into the season and we have little like chilies at the bottom, and it's like this is a. I think that's a. I say that's a 7.
I would give us a 5.
A 5? You think that's fairly likely that there are going to be 2 teams that are going to be 17-3?
No, but I think
better?
my Scoville scale is all messed up from playing this game.
Yeah, you have
because we went from milk. So from milk to 5, from milk to a 7, this is a 5. From 1 to 10, it's a 7. We're on the same page. This is medium spicy.
What the hell are you talking about?
Look, I have no idea. We're all just doing our best, okay?
Are we? Welcome back to Oddball. Charlotte Wilder, Amin Elhassan, joined by a very special guest. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA. His name Tracy McGrady. I worked with this guy for years over at ESPN. And now you are the owner of the Ones Basketball League. Last year was the first season. This year, we're getting a documentary, a 4-part Showtime documentary series, Bonded by Ball, inside the OBL. It's about that inaugural season last year. Tracy, you were a great one-on-one player.
I was all right.
We're going to get to that in a second. What makes a great one-on-one player in this league?
I think other than your skill set, which is very important, it's your mentality, right? I mean, you're not on an island and behind you have a 7-foot shot blocker back there, or to your left you got a teammate, to your right you have a teammate. You don't have that. You're on an island by yourself. So let's say we play into a game to 7. You are a very shifty type guy, and you have the ball on the string. You're good with your handles, and I'm guarding you, and you make a crazy move and drop me on point 1.
Right.
We still got 6 more points to go. Crowd has swayed to your side. Like, I got to be mentally wired differently to stand in front of you again for these next 6 points. So I think this is the mentality that you got to have to play one-on-one basketball. You got to be built differently. And I can honestly say this. You know, I've played against some guys in my NBA career, and I'm talking about all-stars, and I've seen some guys that, you know, was shaking in their boots.
Who is the toughest guy you had to play one-on-one?
I see the question. I mean, God rest, the dead, my brother Kobe.
Yeah.
You know, he's the most fierce competitor that I think we all have seen come through this league other than MJ.
You had a great story of you and Kobe going at it down in Orlando where you were hurt and he knew it. And so he started exploiting that to his advantage.
That's what Well, he was a student of the game, man, and he, was like, a lion. He's going for that weakness. He smells any type of weakness. That's what he's going to try to exploit. Didn't work. I had 38 that game. I had 38 that game because, I had back problems.
Right.
And I managed, throughout my career to play with a herniated disc in my back before I eventually had surgery after my career. But, he tried it.
So, Charlotte, I got to explain something to you about Tracy, because Tracy is the most humble but also proud superstar I think I've ever been around. Because you'll say things that are like, you're like, oh, I was all right or whatever. But then he'll say things like, oh, man, like, I had 38 on or whatever. So
with the herniated disc.
Let me give you a great example.
Yeah.
Tracy, the year he was eligible for the Hall of Fame, the whole year we're all telling him, you're going to be a Hall of Famer. He's like, no, not me. Not me. What? No. So finally, it happens, and he's still shocked and surprised. Now watch this. We threw him a surprise party in Houston for his for this announcement, right? His wife brings him to the hotel and tells him that they're going to a Lauryn Hill concert. And he believed it. Why did you believe you were going to a Lauryn Hill concert?
Because I know my wife knows how much I love Lauryn Hill. She loves Lauryn Hill, and I was excited about that. I wasn't even thinking about no party of anything. Matter of fact, I just had foot surgery, right? So I'm not thinking she's going to throw a freaking party. I got this boot on. You know, I'm going to be chilling in a suite or something, watching Lauryn Hill. Lo and behold, I walk out to the pool deck, and I see all these people. I'm like, I see familiar faces. Like, man, what's going on? And I was like, oh. So it was phenomenal. You know, I was so proud to see, you know, a lot of familiar faces and people that I work with.
It was your whole basketball life.
It was my whole basketball life.
Was any part of you a little bummed that it wasn't a Lauryn Hill concert?
No, I had forgot all about the concert. No, for real, because, I mean, these folks took their time out of their schedule and flew to Houston to come and celebrate this, and that was so much love, man.
Why didn't you ever believe us when we told you you're going to be a Hall of Fame?
It's just something I never thought I would be, bro. Honestly.
Well, how did it feel once it happened?
Oh, that, to me, because, you know, we play the game to win championships, right? I was never fortunate enough to be on the championship team. And when that happened for me, because I went through a dark time in my career. When I went from being a top player in this league to, you know, not being celebrated because of the knee surgery that I had, that was devastating for me. It was hard for me to get over that. So there were some dark days, some dark times. And, you know, I was questioning, why me? Why me, God? Why are you doing this to me, right, at this time? Because we just got run our test to our team. And this is where Houston, I felt like, in Houston, this is where I felt like, oh, we about to compete for a championship. This is what I've been waiting on. I can't compete. I'm not the same guy. Like, that was stripped away from me. So I'm questioning why me. And then when I got nominated for that, like, that was my championship. It was like, okay. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I see you had something in store for me.
How did you pull yourself out of that dark time? Because you ended up reinventing yourself and becoming a really good vet kind of role player after being a star.
Man, just really having extensive conversation with people that I trust to, you know, lend their advice to me.
Right.
And that's what really got me through. And, of course, you know, relying on my faith every single day. But it was tough. It was very challenging because it took me 2 years before I was even pain-free.
For real?
Yeah, 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I can't imagine that.
Oh, it's tough. And, you know, I mean, that's what we put our body through. And it was a challenge within myself to see if I could get back on an NBA team. And that's why for my last 4 years, I was just challenging myself to see if I could put in this work after not being, you know, the player that I once was. My athleticism has just declined tremendously. I'm not the same player. And it's like, all right, now I got to rely on my skills. I have skills. Let's see if, you know, a team can utilize this.
Yeah.
You still 6'9", though, and shoot the ever-loving hell out of the ball. I know when I was in Phoenix, I was pushing for us to get you because I felt like we needed someone like that, even where you were in that stage of your career, as a big guy who could pass and shoot.
Yeah.
In our system, I thought it would have helped a lot. Jeff Teague went on a podcast, and he talked about when you came to Atlanta, and you walked in, and in the first practice, they had Teague on the starters and you on the with the second unit, and you basically called him a bum and said, I can't believe he's starting. And then went at him, basically. Y'all would go at each other after that.
I was a 2 guard and a small forward. When did I ever play point guard?
Never.
Why would I be mad if Jeff Teague is the point guard? That's not my position. I don't play point guard. Why would I be mad at him for them being in that position? But I get it, you know. New podcast, you gotta tell some stories and sell some stories. So tell the story, Teague. keep telling him. He's a hell of a storyteller.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you about another story of your nickname, The Big Sleep.
Yeah. So that came when I was in Toronto.
Okay.
I'm from Florida, right? I spent 1 year in North Carolina, my senior year in high school, and then I get drafted to Toronto. I didn't know anything about Toronto but the Blue Jays. So I'm in this, this place, not knowing nothing about the culture. It's freezing cold. I don't deal with the cold like that. Man. So I'm in the crib. I'm in the house, and I slept a lot. And when I got to Orlando, I was so accustomed because when you're in the NBA, you have a routine that you're on every single day, and I stuck to my routine. And Bo Outlaw, I used to get on the planes. Before we take off, I'm in my sleep. I'm knocked out, and they wake me up when we land. And he gave me that nickname, Big Sleep.
I relate to it. I think it's great. I think it's a badge of honor. If you can sleep well, that's amazing.
Listen.
Yeah.
I flew here yesterday from Houston. The flight is about, 3 hours. I was asleep until about 10 minutes into the flight. I'm out. Didn't move.
It's the best feeling in the world, man.
It's a gift,
when
really.
You can sleep before you even take off. That's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
You talk about being in Orlando. When you got to Orlando, it was supposed to be you, Grant Hill, and Tim Duncan. Then it was you and Grant Hill, and Grant gets hurt, and it's just you. At that point, did you imagine what was going to happen to you? Obviously, you came to Orlando for an opportunity to play with two great superstars, and instead you became this one-man show where you led the league in scoring twice. What were your thoughts going through that period when it's like you're the only guy out there, really?
Well, I relished the opportunity, really, because that's what I wanted. Leaving Toronto, coming to a situation where I actually thought I was going to be no bullcrap. I thought I was going to be like a Scottie Pippen type dude.
See what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's the dichotomy.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be like a Scottie Pippen type dude. Grant Hill was Grant Hill.
Right.
And I didn't know he wasn't going to be healthy. I thought he's had his surgery and we was going to be fine. He was going to do some things. But that wasn't the case. And the keys were thrown at it to a 20-year-old, and it's like, you got to carry us now. I was 20.
No way.
I was 20. Yeah.
Jesus.
I was 20. I had to adapt quickly of being the man for that team, and I didn't know I had the capabilities of, doing some of the things that I did. I did put in the work, however, but I didn't know it was going to be like that. But once I got a taste of, who I was as a basketball player, I just started enhancing and sharpening my skill set. And
you might remember the greatest dunk contest of all time where Vince Carter did all the crazy stuff, right?
Yes.
Tracy was in that dunk contest.
Yes, you were.
I to this day, Tracy, I say, if Vince hadn't been there and we just took your dunks, you would have won. Like you had a routine that would have won almost any other year.
Yeah.
But Vince was Vince.
Vince was Vince.
But you told me you didn't even want to do it.
No.
Why?
Listen, I've been saying this since high school, right? Of what this guy can do. He had to beg and plead for me to get into this dunk contest. And we were neighbors. We lived in the same building, and we just used to spend a lot of time together playing video games and talking. And he kept bugging me, and I just finally just gave in and said, I'll do it.
He was persistent enough. You were like, just
all right, I'll
get
go.
off my back.
I'll go and play second or third. Sure, I'll let you. Like, come on, man. Like this guy is he's such a creative dunker. That's who he is. But he's much more than that as a basketball player. But Vince is incredible in the dunking.
Mac, you just came back from coaching AAU. Do you have to tell the kids that you coach who you are, what your resume is, or do they know?
My kids know. My kids know. Because I think because of social media, it keeps me relevant. And some of the things that are always coming out about me, and I'm always included in it, and those kids send it to me.
I can't let you go without asking. You worked with this guy for a long time. Give me your worst, best story.
I love him so much. He's just such a great dude, you know what I'm saying? And I'm big on energy and vibe. And every time I'm around him, it's nothing but love. And I just appreciate, every time.
I had to try.
I would never. When it's great energy, it's a great vibe, I would never.
It was the best of times, truly, working with this guy. He's a Hall of Famer. His name's Tracy McGrady. T-Mac, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And watch the special, the 4-part documentary series, Bonded by Ball. It's on Showtime. It's about the Ones Basketball League. You don't want to miss it.
Well, folks, that's going to do it.
The Dolphins are in the jacuzzi.
The money's in the safe.
The goldfish is in the bowl. The early bird got the worm.
And the worm got the bird back.
No, it didn't.
Well, sometimes it does.
It never happens like that.
It has happened before.
I've never seen a
I have
worm get a bird.
Absolutely, it has happened.